Hey, Brannon Beliso here. I hope you're living your best life. It is Friday. Can you believe it? It's Friday, April 26th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. This is Success Never Sleeps, where we as a collective of small business owners, predominantly martial arts school owners, and we're just trying to figure out this thing called life. And I say life because it's not business and it's not personal. They go together for most small business owners. You're trying to balance work and life balance with your family, your significant other. You're trying to have me time. You're trying to be balanced. You're trying to save for your retirement. You're trying to grow and scale. There's so many moving parts and they overlap. They just simply do. And so I'm very passionate about holistically helping people think better, feel better, because if you think and feel better, you will do better in your work and in your life, right? So I want to begin by thanking our sponsors today. And as you come aboard, say hello. I love knowing when people are here. And if you're here, say hello, say hello, say hello. Share this, post this on the different martial arts group pages, things of that nature. It's super powerful if we can spread the word of what we're trying to do as a collective. So thank you to Tusa. I talked to Gunny the other day. He's working on his master's, his MBA, his master's in business, as well as, hey, Brenda. Welcome, Brenda Flanders. Welcome. As well as grow their family business with Tusa. My family has been doing business with them since the 90s, and I'm very passionate about that. I was talking to a school owner who's going to change websites. He says he's not happy with them. I kept sharing that the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. And that's important for me because every time I move to another company, be it a CRM system or digital marketing or website, I start all over. Data conversion is not the easiest. There's a learning curve, and fundamentally a website is supposed to be SEO optimated from the back end, but it's what you do with it. And that's a whole nother show within itself, right? That's a whole nother show within itself. Bob Poole, what's happening, Bob, sir? And Maximum Martial Arts, Flagstaff, Arizona. Wow, we got some people coming aboard. We love it. We love it. We love it. And we love to give you a shout out. So if you're here, let us know that. Market Muscles, we're moving into version 4. I love what some of the things Steven's doing with the new version. Up in the corner is pricing and scheduling instead of request information. That alone, all of the data showing the two main things people want to know before they decide to schedule a trial is scheduling and pricing. So if you can gather that email and put them in an automated email flow that's responsible, then you at least have their information to nurture that from one angle, which is the email. Then you can nurture it from texting. You can nurture it that way. So I think that's heads and tails. Up top at the Market Muscles website, we have your Google rating and your Facebook rating. Now, everybody frowned on that in the past because you'd click through and you're no longer at the website, you're at Facebook or Google, right? That's not the case. It's just a JPEG image now, but it sits above the fold, which I think, why didn't we think of that a long time ago? So it's that kind of evolution of Market Muscles, as well as my studio that just launched Amplify, which is an automated type of VC that will talk to potential clients once they opt in and answer these questions. And over time, the machine learning, they're going to answer those questions better. Because we know with today's generation, most people are happy texting. So if I can text you with this chatbot that's trained really, really well, and AI can allow that, you can get through some of the preliminary, those questions of scheduling, pricing, right? Those different things can be answered. But at any point in that conversation, if they want to talk to a human being, that can be done as well. Cool? You with me? And then we have, of course, Kids Love Life Skills. We're close. We're going to come into a subscription-based model where you have access to all these support materials. We just finished safety. I'm really excited about safety. Marco, do you have that anywhere? How about the coloring sheet? If we can show them at any time in the show, I'll take a break and share that with them. We're tightening up the support materials for safety now. And then we're launching a new life skills badge called Safety. Yeah. And then, of course, LC Accounting. My sister Letitia, I was talking to a school owner and just sharing the value that she's brought to my life as my sister, but as a bookkeeper. She's pretty tough. She's tough, and she does jujitsu as a black belt in Kempo, but she keeps you straight and narrow, and that's important. It's very easy from a school to go from profitable to going south in a heartbeat if you don't pay attention. Remember, we're a cash in, cash out business. Every month, a certain amount of cash comes in. Every month, I have a certain amount of cash that goes out for bills. And I can't have that fluctuate, right? That's super important. So be mindful of that, especially with the summer months, coming up, right? We just got off with one of our clients, our It's Time Live group mentoring. As we begin to cultivate this and it's maturing and we're learning, it's magic. And I encourage everybody that wants to grow their school to look at our It's Time group mentoring. Take a look at it. Go to brannonbeliso.com and look under services. I was telling Marco, I think that's my purpose, right? I don't work with the guy with 7 schools. No, that's not my gig. My gig is that person with 100 students that's been stuck and is really ready to make a change mentally, physically, and all ways in doing their business because they've recognized their way is not getting the results they want. But there's so many moving pieces to running successful small business. There just is. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it because the freedom that I experience today that I didn't have 15 years ago is just phenomenal. It's just phenomenal for me. And I'm a huge advocate. I want everybody to be able to create their version of success and be successful. Cool. It's Time Life Purpose. It's coming up in November 9th through 12th. I'm going to send out the link for sign up, first of all, to the regulars, right? I like to try to do that first. So look for that coming across the wire to you. Then we're going public with it. We've done this event for close to 8 years. It's a phenomenal event. Try to come to the 4-day retreat. That is where magic happens. But we also have 2 days and 1 days if you want to bring your team out. Cool? All right, so let's get into it, man. And if you have a question, go ahead and put it in there. If you're watching the show, hey, there it is. Look at that. Look at our new safety coloring sheet. And there's a student parent discovery sheet, an instructor handout. There's a live talk to back it up. There's other moving parts. And of course, the badge, the safety badge looks phenomenal. If you're here, please say hello. I love to know who's hanging out with us. And if you have a question, then put your question in as well. So what we're going to talk about today, and I feel this is very time sensitive. When we opened the Millbrae location, our second location, I said to myself, our goal is 300 students in the first year. That was the goal. We ended up at 285 in the first year, 285 in the first year. And that is pretty phenomenal, I think, by any standard in our industry. But there was a certain process to get there. Was some of it exact? No. So make sure you're taking notes on this. If you have questions as we go along, feel free to share. All right. So the first thing I did, which I think was totally different than San Francisco, because we didn't hit 285 in San Francisco till like year 4 or something, is we went with a very, very structured business plan. We did a great business plan, which helped me really think, especially in that one area of the business plan where you do projections, right? How much is the business going to make and cost in the first year, second year, third year? That alone shifted my mindset from being a technician to truly being that architect of the business, because I had to go to a bank and get an SBA, because anytime you can spend someone else's money, it's a smart day. It just simply is in business. And that's why there's VCs and you raise money for funding, seed money for a startup, et cetera, et cetera. Anytime you can use someone else's money, it's a good day. But I went about it very methodically. And it allowed me to do another thing. Until this day, and I showed this, I did a podcast for 2. This is the manager book from Topkick. Topkick is a great organization that Tulay used to be a part of directly. But John Cassidy and Tulay taught me really, really, really another level of business that I don't believe existed in our industry. So it really methodically gave that to me, and one of the reasons we hit 285. And what did it teach me? Systems. You have to write systems, and then you have to write better systems. Then you have to review, and it just, that's the nuts and bolts. And that's why, stay with me, about 90% or so of franchises succeed, where about 90% of small mom and pop businesses fail. So what are the key elements? What are the differences there? Why do more franchises succeed than small businesses? Go, put it in the comments. Give me your thoughts. And who else is sitting here on the show? We got Goals Martial Arts, Maximum Martial Arts. We got Brenda Flanders. Who else is sitting out there? Share with us, please. So why is it that a franchise succeeds where more mom and pop businesses fail? What do you think? Anybody? And I know there's a delay because I think it goes to YouTube first before it gets to us. Any thoughts? Believe Martial Arts, Chipley, Florida. What's happening, Jason Smith? And Jason, happy belated birthday, my brother. Happy birthday to you, sir. Systems number one, strategies and planning. Thank you, Brenda. Strategies and planning, systems and branding. Okay. Systems and branding. So you're great. Number one is systems. And if you haven't, read E Myth by Michael Gerber. That's the first thing that John Cassidy and Tule turned me on to. And then I worked with John Cassidy on Top Kick Insights, his version of consulting and growing a business. I was the voice of that. So I was privy to a lot of insights when I did that. I think it was a 2-year run I did with John Cassidy. Read E Myth by Michael Gerber. And his whole model was McDonald's. Now, I know we're not fast food, but here's the point to learn from that. Ray Kroc took ordinary people, high school kids with very little work experience, and he wrote systems for them to perform extraordinarily. And they built this, $1 billion business in McDonald's? Think about that. Think about that. So it's the same thing for us, our bench strength, our leadership. They're all, middle high school kids, right? Predominantly. If we can write great systems for them to perform our curriculum extraordinarily, then the business of retaining our existing students and growing it is already being planted and in place. So you're right. Systems is number one. Number two is you're right. A legitimate brand. One, martial arts. Why do people come to us? We help you live your best life. Why do our people learn Nike? Because they just do it, right? They're doers. Why do people go to Disneyland? It's the happiest place on earth. Why do people use Apple products? Because they think different. So to have a clear brand, right? The brand is really an extension of that purpose statement. And ours is clear. Our purpose statement is we are one, a community dedicated to serving you in every moment to live your best life. That is what we do, right? So with that said, we operate from there, just as a franchise does, right? What does Chick-fil-A say? It's my pleasure. What does Burger King say? Have it your way, right? On and on and on. But see, it's no longer about personalities. And I think that's why most mom and pop businesses fail, because they're personality driven, not systems driven. And systems are really the key and the pathway to your freedom. I haven't taught in San Francisco in close to 7 years. I teach in Millbury 1 day a week, right? Other than when I came back during the pandemic, because I have systems and I have great teams driving it, great people. So systems, we get that. Brand, define your brand. And honestly, people, I'm going to be kind, but it's derogatory. If you have a silhouette of somebody kicking and it's called family martial arts, that's not a brand. That's, I don't think, I don't know, and I have no idea what to do here. That's okay. That's okay. But head down that rabbit hole of creating a legitimate brand. I'm going to tell you why. Because if you have a silhouette of somebody kicking and the guy down the street has a silhouette of somebody kicking, I, as a consumer, can't differentiate the two. You both say you got great quality instruction. You both say you're going to teach confidence, bully awareness, and focus. You both say the same thing. So I, as a consumer, by default, base my buying decision upon two things: who's closer to me and who's cheaper. That's it, because I have no other incentive, because there's no difference between the two brands, and that's rampant in our industry. How many schools have you seen with a silhouette of somebody kicking? That is just not even well thought out. So why did we get to 285 in 1 year? Because we had a very clear brand. One Martial Arts was a very clear brand. Why do you bring your 6-year-old kid to me versus Joe Karate down the street? Because we're going to help them live their best life. How do you do that? Quality martial arts instructions and life skills education. Oh, great. And what are you? One Martial Arts. So we always learn to market from the why. We learn to market from the brand. So establishing that, I know people think, what the heck? No, what the heck? What's the difference between the mom and pop pizza store that simply has this generic sign that says pizza and Domino's or Little Caesars or Papa John's? They're legitimate brands. And that's why they scale to the levels they have. Whereas the person who just puts pizza on a sign, okay, I can get it. There's another pizza place three miles down the road. See? So again, we don't think about that in our industry, and we really, 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 really should. So I study companies like Apple and Disney. I worked with a Nike person, for a number of months teaching me about branding. And it was just such a wonderful learning experience. So I encourage you to please invest in that. That's how we got to 285. All right, let's dig a little deeper now. I believe the other thing we had clearly defined in when we opened up Millbrae is all the curriculum was in place, curriculum videos. We had a very clear path. It wasn't confusing. When I sign up, how do I get from white to yellow? It's all on video. How do I move? Because if your brand is confusing, if the process is confusing, then people don't buy and they don't trust you. If it's very, very clear and simple, then you remove the obstacle to me buying. So that was the other super valuable point. And then going back to the business plan and the budget, we were very mindful, and this is again something I want to ask you is when you opened your school, did you do a demographic study? Put it in the comments. When you opened your school, did you do a demographic study? Tell me that. Tell me that now. Who else is here today? If you're out there, please feel free to put in your name, put in the name of your school you're tuning in from. So, in that business plan, I would want to know if my product centers around children, there's X number of elementary schools, X number of preschools, right? Middle school, high schools, not so much. It's a feeder system if I get teens or I'm hiring summer day camp staff. But really, I want a lot of elementary schools, a lot of preschools. Then I'm going to study the household income, right? What is the average household income? If you look up Millbrae, California, or where we are in San Francisco, California, they're pretty affluent to the point where they have disposable income. That's the key word. They have disposable income to invest in their child's development. So that was the other big part. We did that demographic study. Hey, what's happened? Beth and Marty from Black Dragon, we just got on yes when we opened, we did do a demographic. Good. And so that's important. When someone tells me, I ask, why did you open your school here? I live here. That's a bad reason. My papa's school, we were very poor. We lived in a very poor part of San Francisco. My dad never got past 100 or so students ever in his 50 plus years in that location, right? Both my schools are in good areas. I live in Millbrae, and that's a big plus too. So we're going to go down that rabbit hole next. So a big reason why we got to 285 in 1 year, and this was timing and everything, is when we opened it 10 years ago, Braden was 5, and 10 years ago, Tail was 2, because she's 12 now, right? So we were in the system. My son was just entering kindergarten. My wife got in on the PTA committee. She sat on different committees for the International Food Day, the back to school night. I cannot tell you, people, how impactful that was to creating these community-based relationships, which allowed a feeder system directly into our school. Even most recently, my wife is on the Millbrae Athletic Boosters, okay? Because my son plays basketball in high school. He's a freshman. And I looked at the food stand, right? Because we're watching a football game. Why are we going here? And I looked at the food stand, and they're doling out nachos. You have my wife standing there. You have the principal standing there from the high school. You have the superintendent from the school board there. That alone, to sit in audience with them for 2 hours, being people, dishing out nachos, the bonding, it's phenomenal what my wife does. It blows my mind. And that's an example right there. So if you can open your school where you live and it's an affluent community, has the elementary schools, the preschools, and all that, and the perfect storm, your kids are 5 and 2, just entering the school system, and your wife has that freedom to sit on all these different boards, because my wife's job is raising the kids. That's what she does in managing the household. We both decided that. She has a master's, and that's what she chose to do, right? So it's not some weird chauvinistic thing that some people try to ask me sometimes, but it's not. She has a master's. She could do anything. That was a perfect storm. And that's why Millbrae broke 1 million in 3 years. We were doing things like, and we'll get into this. Think like a restaurant. And if any of you out there with 100 students to 150, you are still a brand new school in my eyes. I don't care if you've been open 12 years, 15 years. You are a brand new freaking school because you haven't hit that threshold where that business is working for you instead of you working for it. So if you look at that business, it is a newborn baby. It needs your attention 24/7, 365, all the time. And if you're not willing to give it that, then you will stagnate and be stuck at 100 to 150. That's it. Long story short. So it's like a restaurant. I never want it empty. Never. And some of the brilliant things my wife thought of is let's give all of our son's kindergarten classmates a free birthday party. Because we didn't have a lot of students yet, right? We only had 35 students pre-sales before we opened the door, right? So I went, okay, we can do that. We got connected to the Girl Scouts. Every Friday was a different troop for a confidence building workshop. Every Friday. I'm paying rent anyways, right? I'm paying rent. So why not put something in there? It wasn't generating revenue, but it was generating something you cannot put a price tag on. Write this down. Goodwill. Goodwill. Because the three things we can do right now to give back to the community. Number one is monetary, right? And if you're a small school, you may not be able to do that. Number two is service, offering your services. PE teacher of the day, whatever. Us, it's the cotton candy machine. You saw last week we had that cotton candy machine at 2 elementary school events, 2 on a weekday. Come on, most people can't get that. But because we understood PE teacher of the day, demo team, very limiting opportunities. Something like a cotton candy machine, lots of opportunities. You with me? Okay. So that was huge. So if your school is in that environment and you have that perfect storm of your kids just coming into the system and your wife has the freedom because she's a stay-at-home mom to do those things, it was huge. It was huge. We watched Millbrae pass up San Francisco almost within 3 years. Millbrae makes more money than San Francisco to this day. And my wife is very impactful in that. Our position, our status, we give a lot of money to the school. We give a lot of money to the district. We sponsor baseball teams, all the rest, all of it. Or you could spend it on a Facebook ad, right? And we can do that too. So we made sure the school was always had something going on. Even on a rainy day, my wife would hit the cell phone and a bunch of kids are in our school playing dodgeball. The point being is if I walk by an empty restaurant and nobody's in it, I'm not coming in. And you know how much curiosity that sparked on a rainy night when a family's walking by from the subway next door, right? We'll talk about that in a minute. And they see all these kids playing dodgeball and they just simply come in and go, what do you guys do here? Oh, we're a martial arts school. Oh, yeah, but since it's a rainy day, we just decided to let our students hang out and play dodgeball. Oh, can we play? Sure. Sit down, take a load off your feet, eat your Subway, and let the kids play. And then you build that rapport, right? You build that rapport. So the next thing, location, location, location. I'm a huge advocate of location. Huge advocate of location. And yeah, my rents are expensive, very expensive. But we are anchored by major brands like Subway, 24-Hour Fitness, Starbucks, Trader Joe's. To sit in proximity with these businesses is powerful. And don't you think the big boys have done the demographic study? They have. They have. So when you see something like a Subway, we know kids eat there. You see something like a Starbucks, families consume Starbucks. Trader Joe's, again, all these family-oriented businesses, they've done the homework. They've done the $1 million of research to decide to put a Trader Joe there. So anytime I can piggyback, and we look for what they call anchor stores. They're anchor stores. You're only going to win. So what do we got up to this point? Location, brand, systems, business plan, all the things that go into creating a successful business. But the biggest challenge I witness is that most people are technicians, right? You're a technician. And you've heard me say this. There's a skill set to being a great martial artist. Does not equal a great martial arts instructor. There's a different skill set to being a great martial arts instructor. Then guess what? There's a different skill set to being a great, successful small business. And guess what? There's a different skill set to being an entrepreneur. 4 different skill sets. And each one has a learning. Each one has a skill set you need to learn, practice, and master. What you don't know, you can learn, right? What you don't know, you can learn. Same thing here, folks. Same thing here, okay? Um, and then once we picked the location, once we got a nice SBA loan of 350,000. We did, but even with that, I had to put my house up as collateral. I'm like, what? I have this $1 million business in San Francisco. You know, what do you mean? But fortunately, at 285 by year one, we paid off the loan because there was no penalty for early payment. We actually didn't use all that money and we got rid of it. But why did I take such a big amount? Because I know how hard it was with San Francisco struggling doing remodels every 2 years, a little bit at a time, because that's what the budget allowed. But we're still disciplined to this day. We did remodeling a year and a half ago. And we only did the waiting area in San Francisco and replaced the mats in Millbrae. So again, we're very, when you talk about creating a budget, what that does with the mindset is you're now thinking like a business person. But if I'm living in fear, if I got to make rent, I'm living in fear, you're going to make these bad decisions and spend a lot of money on different marketers and things like that because you're making choices from fear. If you go in with a plan, you stick to the plan, you have the discipline to stay budget, the potential of you like, going through those lean years, what? They say it takes 3 to 5 years for a business to be profitable on average. We were profitable in year one at both locations, but there were two different set of circumstances. San Francisco, I opened my door with 100 students. I was teaching at the Park and Rec, a couple of different martial arts schools, all these health clubs, so I could pull from that and open the door with 100 students, profitable year one. Millbrae, honestly, I had the confidence of the systems, the team, the budget, the location, everything was in play. My wife, the kids, the school, everything was in play. So it was a perfect storm. And if we understand 90 some percent of franchises succeed, whereas, close to 90% of small businesses fail, you want to stack that deck in your favor. But if you don't know what that takes, then you have no idea how to stack that deck. So hopefully from today, you're going to get some of that. Okay. So we've covered all that. Now, the things that need to happen consistently that don't. I ask everybody that was once upon a time successful, right? You had 200 students. What were you doing? I did ABC. Okay, today you're at 180. Right? I mean, today you're at 80 students. Are you still doing ABC? No. Why? Why? You lose focus, you become complacent, you get burnt out. I understand all of that. And so it's super important when you design your curriculum. Oh, what's new and shiny? This is new and shiny. Okay, let's go do this curriculum. Oh, that's new and shiny. Let's go do that. The goal is to go deeper. Because if you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper, you will mine the gold in your curriculum. Because honestly, nobody cares if it's Taekwondo, Kenpo, Kung Fu, BJJ. They don't. The average mom doesn't know. But if you can refine that curriculum, add value to their child's life, make it age and skill level specific, the magic's there. And I can't express that enough. When we opened up Millbrae, hey, Kim, all the way from Germany, my friend. I helped rebrand Kim School, Heart Martial Arts. I love it. I love it. I love it. Kim, I love you, my brother. It's been a long time. It's so good to see you here. And so our curriculum was so tight. Now we've revamped our curriculum 3 or 4 times in 24 years, and we're doing it again. We're overhauling it completely because we have holes in our game, because that Kaizen theory of constant improvement, right? We choose not to go bigger. We choose to go deeper because I personally have outside revenue streams. So I don't need to open more schools for money. I'm making more money in some of my other revenue streams than I am in the schools. So I chose a different path. And that's okay. If you want to have multiple schools, have multiple schools. But just make sure it's your version of success. Because how many wealthy, unhappy people have we seen through the media and throughout life? Many, many. So it's about creating that version of success for you that works for you, not me, for you, right down to the school. So our core product which is martial arts instruction, was in place. So let's talk about marketing, because marketing is a big one, right? We know that. You got to market your school. If you just think internal referrals by itself is going to cut it, it will not. Because you don't market one way to 70 people, you market 70 ways to 70 people. But we did know if we had great curriculum, it was very clear path from white to black belt, we had great instruction, we had that great Disney experience in the school, that word of mouth would take care of that part of marketing, right? Because that's one part of marketing. I still believe a mom standing at the bus stop waiting to pick up their kids from school, standing next to another mom, talking to that mom about how amazing your school is, has a lot more legs than a Facebook ad. It's been proven. Word of mouth is still the best way to get new business. So make sure you have an internal referral in place. And I wouldn't use things like, we used to do $1. Ooh, you got this money, you can use it on tuition, buying something in the school. Get something tangible. Did you know you can get branded Starbucks cards? Yeah. Look at it. So I can get the One Martial Arts logo put on a Starbucks gift card. Why not give them a $50 Starbucks gift card or $50 to Trader Joe's? Everyone shops at Trader Joe's in our community. See, something like that. Now, why am I going to encourage that? B2B. It's B2B. And you get to co-brand with the big boy. Could you imagine that? One Martial Arts sit next to a Starbucks logo on the same gift card. And we can give that. Nobody was very motivated. They weren't. But people are happy to refer your business if they love you without any kind of referral system. So having something, a way of saying thank you, just thank you, not here's our referral program. Da, 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 da. Don't do that, because it takes away from that je ne sais quoi, that thing of I love your business, I'm going to refer it. How many proud parents have said to you, I tell everybody about you? Put it in the comments. Hey, Ivo, Antonio, Ivan, where? I don't understand the question, sir. Where? Please share your question. So they don't refer you because they want money. They don't refer you because they want those things, right? Yeah, Starbucks. Yes. Yeah. Look online. I got it from a friend in Canada, one of my clients. All-Star Martial Arts, Andrew. So if you can't find it, reach out to All-Star Martial, and I'll ask him again. He sent it to me before. And so an internal referral program is why we got to 285 as well. Okay. Now, next one behind it. Now, I'm not a big guy on print. I'm not big on print. But Roland Osborne and I, we were both in Germany together, touring. We did a 2-day event, and then we did a couple of different schools. We sat in a pub, right? And we sat with our standard. We both have, I don't have it here. And we both keep journals, right? We both keep journals. And we sat down and mapped out my marketing. And it was just it was like two jazz musicians just chomping, just going back and forth. It was so fun. And one of the things he said, I'm not big on mailers, but this I would do. So it was about 8 weeks out before grand opening. We sent out a direct mail piece, right? Promoting the school. We're having this grand opening. And the grand opening, we had free food and we gave away money, prizes, an iPad, gift cards, because they don't know who we are. So we're guaranteed free food and giveaway prizes. That alone, we got 400 people that we didn't know. Okay. And we had a way to sign them up. You want to be in the raffle. Back then, we didn't have QR codes and all that. So they had to fill out a little form and went into the thing. And then we nurtured it through email. Because I think, an email, I know they call it snail mail and it's dead, but it's, again, just one other way to market, right? Word of mouth. Keep your email list like gold. Guard that thing. Utilize your email list until they unsubscribe, right? That's one more way to market. So we did this direct mail piece. 8 weeks out, 6 weeks out, 2 weeks out. And it was a big project. It was like a $10,000 project, right? But it was a good investment because instantly, we did pre-sales, right? Where we were out front, mats, a table, on a busy Saturday because there's a lot of walk by traffic. And we did little mini intros and we signed up people that way. But even with that, we only got like 35 people when we opened our doors. So we did this huge grand opening and it was done well. We had a food truck up outside. The mayor cut the ribbon. We had, community TV cover it. All these things were in place. My friend brought his demo team. I had my demo team. We had structured it well. 15 minutes bully awareness, 15 minutes dodgeball, 15 minutes confidence building, 15 minutes kickboxing, 50, so it was just planned out well to really put our best foot forward. Okay? How else did we get to 285? Well, community-based marketing is big. I think that the challenge I want to share with you is that if we take a lot of our cues from the marketers that are out there, okay? One, they're either a fitness person, right? Some fitness supermarketer of the world, or there's somebody designed towards marketing a single product. If you look in a lot of the Facebook ads or you take a Facebook master's class, it really centers around singular products, makeup, a man's vitamin, things like that. So you got to be very mindful what tips you take from marketing. If I'm marketing this coffee cup, is that the same way I'm going to market my martial arts lessons? I can sell this coffee cup in Canada, Germany, all over the world. I'm not doing that with my services. So that's the big disconnect. A lot of the tips and tricks and strategies that you get for marketing your school is designed for selling a product. I don't market my martial arts school the way Amazon markets a refrigerator. We don't. So I think that's something you really need to pay attention to when you're working with marketers. Okay? Now, the next level of this, and I'm going to praise Kim if Kim's still here. Kim's marketing is amazing. But there was a time, remember, Kim, when I first came to Germany, I know over a decade ago, where I was talking about Facebook and stuff. Andre said it. A bunch of people said, nobody does Facebook here. Nobody does Instagram. Nobody does those things. And now, Kim's a master of it. He's got some of the best ads. They're produced, they're shot well, and I think that's huge. And he has a brand. But I don't believe Kim, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe Kim would have been inspired and have such a clear marketing message unless we rebranded him to Heart Martial Arts. Once that all came together, right, with Heart Martial Arts for Kim, his message, no matter what it is, whether it's sparring, whether it's a grand opening, whether it's, a workshop, it's very cohesive. His marketing, his look, his feel, everything is cohesive. And that's very important because if people are confused with your brand, they will not trust you. They will not trust you at all. At all, at all. So be mindful of that. So when you're doing Facebook ads and all that, it's got to be done. It's got to be done, right? It's got to be done. But please, I think what's important with that. Hey, Ralph, we got Ralph from Switzerland. Ralph, you are one of my biggest success stories. And people say, well, what do you mean by that? Not to get off the subject. Ralph came to me with 60 students. He's at 220, 216, somewhere in there now. But it's Ralph's version of success, right? If I may share, Ralph was a mechanic, and I'm just so happy, Ralph. And I love you, sir. I love Ralph. And everybody I work with, I love. Ask Jason, Monique, Marco. If I'm not in love with you, I can't hang, man. I want to live life in love. Because there's going to be bad days too, and when we go through that, we go through it together. And we know people aren't going to jump ship and bail. That's why I don't recommend you change website companies all the time. CRM systems, get with a website company you can fall in love with the people, because there'll be good days and bad days. You'll get leads, you won't. But if every time you jump ship, it's not a good choice. It's not a good choice. It's not a good choice. So Kim, if you're still there, add your 2 cents about what we're talking about. So if you're doing Facebook marketing, if you're doing your Google business page, if you have a website, please be consistent in updating that content. Content is king. When Google crawls your website and your Google business page, and all your social media, and they see you're one of those people that are on top of it, that understand to frame your picture at Instagram this way, to do vertical videos, et cetera, using the reels, all those things make the platform know that you get how they behave as a native, right? I know how to post a picture at Facebook. I know not to put links in Instagram. I know to upgrade my pictures, batch them out every week in Google. I know to do that. That's very important because that's that side of marketing. But let's lean deeper into community-based marketing. And I want to share that because I had a marketer say to me, your problem is you could be getting more leads if you expand the miles. And I said, well, you're not understanding. Where we are in San Francisco, much like New York, people will not go from one borough to the next borough. They won't. They want to stay in their little area of that city. So in San Francisco, we have different pockets, right? So we want to take that one zip code. What are we really trying to control? Again, urban environment, it's probably even smaller. I would say a 2-mile radius. You are trying to own a 3 to 5 mile radius of your brick and mortar location. 3 to 5, 3 to 5. So you want to be completely present in that community, right? And that's when we came up with the cotton candy machines. They're in rotation, like you saw last week. Where can you be promoting your brand on a Wednesday and a Friday? Exposed to what? I think we were exposed to maybe there's 2,100 kids in the school district. So it was a block party on Wednesday for the entire school district. Where do you get that kind of exposure? Of course, we had branded One Martial Arts everywhere, One Martial Arts t-shirt. We had QR codes so you can scan summer camp, after school. It was all there. It was all there. But you don't get those type of opportunities. You just don't. We went to a fair. There was a fair. And I look in the silent auction. What's on the table? A week of camp from One Martial Arts, a premium birthday party. So we constantly are mining data within the 3 to 5 mile radius for opportunities to position our brand, not to sell and get new students. Please take that off the table because then you go about it differently. I want to position my brand to create an awareness, to create a memorable experience. So if and when they are ready for martial arts, they come to us. You with me? But if all I do is set up a booth, break a re-breakable board, and I stand there with a clipboard with a freaking wheel to get a pair of glow nunchucks I got to come into your school to get, you're done. You're standing out in the aisle, blocking people's way, going, hey, you ever think about martial arts? Hey, you ever think about martial arts? That sucks. That just sucks. You get a bunch of dead leads and they never come. But if you genuinely create an experience in a booth, cotton candy machine, bubble machine, a mascot, a balloon twister, a coloring station, you create this environment where kids want to hang out. You organically talk to all these different parents and you're just hanging out like people. Because I know you are not there to buy martial arts. You are not there to buy martial arts. You're there because it's a block party, right? You're there because the Millbrae Lions were giving away hot dogs and hamburgers. So again, look at a 3 to 5 mile radius and really focus on it. Somebody asked me why we don't do the basketball half times because it's all the way. It has nothing to do with my school. It's not even remotely within the 3 to 5 mile radius. And people will go to a professional basketball game from all over our Bay Area. So again, it's not smart either way. And it's not giving back to what? The community the school's in. Everything you do should be to give back to the community where you live. So that community-based marketing is ongoing. It's forever. Our Google, our Facebook, our website, ongoing forever. If you get a chance, check out our new One Martial Arts website. It's pretty amazing. And I'm methodically going into every page and updating it. One of the new features, you should have a gallery. Who has a gallery at the bottom of your landing pages? You should. Each one can be tailored to the individual program. So the one I have completely set up is the youth karate page at onemartialarts.com. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. So all these different things I'm sharing with you, are just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many more things that can be done. But I believe everything I've shared up to this point is why. We were at 285 in year one, is why by the end of year three, we broke $1 million in Millbrae. It took 7 years in San Francisco, but what does that tell you? If it took 7 years to break $1 million in San Francisco, it took 3 years in Millbrae. What does that tell you? I'm a constant learner. I'm constantly bettering my businesses. I'm constantly improving the systems. I'm constantly training the team better. I'm constantly learning about technology and leveraging it. I was working with a school owner yesterday, and I said, "What's your demographic?" Well, I have mainly 38-year-old men who want to do jujitsu, but they don't want to compete. I said, "Okay, looking at your website, I don't see that at all, sir." He goes, "Well, I'm not a good writer." I said, "Okay, well, here we go. Open up Chat GPT." He said, "Okay." Put into Chat GPT, write me a Facebook post for 38-year-old men who want to study jujitsu but don't want to do competition, right? Let's go a step further. Put in the zip code of where you live. And it made this very basic, clean post. And he was happy with it. So if you're not a great writer, leverage AI. Leverage it. Just don't do things like this. Okay? Now, I hear that the algorithms cannot differentiate whether it's ChatGPT written or written by a person. I would say that's BS. I'm going to tell you why. I have the #1 blog at Google. Put in martial arts blog right now at Google. You will see that I come up as the first non-paid position. I write everything. Everything. So I believe that's another big part of what goes on. I, as a level 5 leader, cultivate the brand message, and I tell the story. You need to be a storyteller, and you need to tell the story well, and you need to tell the story consistently so people will earn trust and confidence. But if 1 minute, I'm in a bar drinking, and the next minute I'm over here on a beach in Hawaii, the next minute I'm in my school, I would never put that stuff. If you notice, a lot of my Brannon Beliso, I wear the black beanie. It's a different, you wouldn't even know it's me. I would never do that with my One Martial Arts brand. Never. And I don't post a lot of videos of me at One Martial Arts. Why? Because I am not the brand. I am not the brand. But for most of you, still in the mom and pop environment, you need to be the brand. You need to be the storyteller. So you need to do that, okay? All right, let me take a deep breath. We still got about 9 minutes or so. What questions do you have, folks? What questions do you want to ask? Kudos if Brenda is still there. Brenda, was great being at your hyper black belt testing. It's pretty awesome. Just pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. What questions do you have for me, people? And while you put those questions in there, because I know it takes a little minute for them to come through, I just want to say we have It's Time Life Purpose coming up. That's coming up on November 9th through 12th. We know it always sells out. It's sold out consistently for 8 years, 20 people, 4 days. It's like one of the most experience that you'll never experience. I'm so proud of it, what it's become. You need to be there. Put the link in there for them, okay, Marco? Because we haven't announced it yet to the public. And so I want to try to get all the people that attend regularly into the 20-person spot. So as soon as you see that link, please sign up. I'd hate to turn you away, but I would have to. So, Ivo, please repeat how you stated Men 38 for BJJ. Well, I said to ChatGPT, write me a Facebook post for 38-year-old men that would like to study jujitsu, but do not want to do competition. And they live in Florida in this zip code. Because the way people speak in Florida and think are different than San Francisco, California. The choice of words, everything. So we can go that deep. And then I said, okay, let's look at it. What do you like about it? Well, I like this sentence. Good, keep it. How about this part? Now it stinks. Okay, take it out. See, but at least it gives you a starting point if you're not a writer and you're not creative. Just don't take it verbatim, right? Valuable information, Brenda. Would love to see what it would take to have you look at my school. Maybe Jason or Marco could reach out to you and share with you what we can do for that. Can you guys take care of that, please? Maybe Jason. Jason knows Brenda, right? Because you guys tested together. So, with that said, you know, successful people are just willing to do what unsuccessful people are not. I'm not talking about compromising your core values. I am not. I am not. I'm saying you find a way to achieve your version of success. And I said, if you're not a great writer, just don't simply dismiss, I'm not a great writer. Leverage what's out there. But see, it took with understanding your avatar. He at least knew his avatar was a 38-year-old man that wants to study jujitsu but doesn't want to compete. Okay, great. That's a great start, right? That's a great start. So maybe we'll do that next week, Marco. We'll help people try to understand that. We'll go through that together because, again, like Jason said at the top of the show, if you don't have a brand and a brand message, it doesn't matter. All you're doing is ripping off me, ripping off everybody else. Now, that might be easier. It might be faster. How many people bit my blogs or bit my sayings? Like I came up with that one, invest in your child's future, right? Everybody and their mother uses it. And I don't mind that, but it does not help your brand. It does not. See, the thing is, you're looking for the quick fix. You're looking for instant gratification. There is no quick fix in building a legacy business, in building a great business. There is no instant gratification or quick fix. It is a long, hard road to haul. That is it. But if you do the things that, yeah, it is. It is. You're right, Jason. It's so much more fulfilling when you can share your brand message. It just is. Right? Be successful. That's Jason. Believe martial arts, where your child can be successful. Right? Where you can be successful. Wow, really? I'm going to bring my kid to you because they can be successful here? Yeah, absolutely. I can answer the phone. Be successful. Believe martial arts. Jason speaking. I can do that. I can be leading a warm up, going, wow, look at little Johnny. He is being successful because his back is straight and he's going all the way down on that push up. I mean, it's just when you have a brand, you can now put it everywhere. And consistency builds trust. That's how we got to 285 in year one of Millbrae. Everything we did was rooted in live your best life. We consistently communicated that brand promise all the time, every event, every hello, every class, every stripe earned, every dodgeball event, every community event, every print that we created for, direct mail pieces or social media. Our message is consistent, very consistent. And I'll end with that. I go to my favorite restaurant, I eat my favorite food, I come back again. I go the second time, you don't have systems, the other cook makes it differently, I might give you a third chance. I go a third time, order my favorite dish, it's not made the way I like it, I don't come back again. It's the same thing here. So systems, a brand, a business plan, a strategy. If I just get in my car and drive, I might be moving and doing it, but I'm not going anywhere. If I know I want to go to Disneyland, I decide fly, drive, train, bus, boom, on and on. But it's based upon what? My budget. I vote. Did your price point to acquire 280 students impact your ability to enroll? Did your price point to acquire 285 students impact your ability to enroll 285 students? I don't understand the question. Can somebody help me? Did your price point? No, I mean, Apple is one of the most expensive products out there, sir, right? And Apple charges what they do. I think we don't charge enough what we do. We really don't. Our average for twice a week is $259. And people say, well, you got to charge that. Your rent's so high. You're in San Francisco. I get that part too. But my price point does not impact our enrollments. Not at all. But again, please stay with me. You're a new school. I'm telling all the new schools this summer, do 3 months in a uniform for $297, $99 a month, right? For 3 months, no holds, anything. Do 4 weeks in a uniform for $99. The challenge with that, the sticker shock when they do enroll for regular membership. But I need bodies in here. I know it's going to be, some of it's going to be burn and churn, right? Ivo, some of it's going to be burn and churn, sir. That's okay. Because if out of those 100 people that did $99, two of them signed up, made the commitment to regular memberships, I was cool with that at the time. We don't do that anymore. We do one free trial class. That's it. That's it. That's it. Because we want people that understand our brand, do their homework, know who we are coming in the door. And in today's world of technology, they can do that, right? They know more about our school than we could possibly tell them by the time they walk through the door, if they are an educated parent that invests in their child. If you want a better lead, make it harder. Ask for the name, the phone number, the kid, da, da, da. Make it harder. You'll get fewer leads, but you'll get better leads. Otherwise, it's okay. That's just inherent in the business. You're going to get 50 leads, 10 of them sign up, 5 of them show, 1 signs up. That's just the nature of the beast. It's not a big deal. And I don't spend my time complaining about that. I embrace it. I accept it. It's cool. I said that to a school owner yesterday. Hey, it's freaking winter. Can you change that it's winter? No. What do? I put on a freaking coat. There you go. You're going to do Facebook marketing. Understand clearly, you're going to get a lot of leads, right? Only a handful will actually book a trial. Only a handful of those will show. And out of that, 1 or 2 will sign up. You got to be cool with that. But that's just one way to market. See, if you put all your eggs in one basket, that's why you're so stressed out about the results. I'm not, because we have word of mouth. We have community-based marketing. We're building it internally by great curriculum, great instruction, great environment, all those things. We're marketing 70 ways to 70 different people. So I'm not just staring at this Facebook thing going, it doesn't work, let me go to another company. You with me? Who's with me on that? Anybody? Anybody? So think about that. And this is just the beginning. I hope you choose to watch our other episodes. We got so much in Success Never Sleeps. And I think what's unique about what we do, right, is that we own schools. We're in the trenches. I don't sit in a glass house hypothesizing or romanticizing about what I did a decade ago. We are actively in our schools. We see what's going on with the latest in websites and all the rest. So this advice I give you, I think is pretty on point. And that doesn't help my ego, because it doesn't matter. My ego is useless. The information we offer you is because we're in the trenches. And it changes day to day. You know it does. Just like advertising changes day to day. But nothing can beat trust. The last true form of marketing is trust. Do everything you can to earn trust in your community, and do everything you can never to violate that. Cool? All right, so let's thank our sponsors. Market Muscles, My Studio, Tucson, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting. I use all of these services. I'm not going to be an influencer for a product I do not use. I am not going to sit there and represent a product that I don't trust, that doesn't actively impact my businesses. Now, are they all perfect? No. Especially if you're with a tech company like Market Muscles or My Studio. There's ebbs and lows, but that comes with the growth of a tech company. How many updates do you get on your cell phone every week? Just part of the course. But I do trust these people. I do trust them. So I'll go through the highs and the lows. I love them all. All 5 you choose. It's Time Life Purpose again. Marco. Oh, Marco can't put the link in there. Oh, shit. Sorry about that, Marco. If you would like the link for It's Time Life Purpose in November, 9th to 12th, the 4-day experience, put it in the comments. Marco will get you the link. Okay? We don't market that or anything. It sells out every year. And it's unlike anything in our industry. So I'm going to finish with thank you, man. Having people from Germany and people from all the way from Switzerland and all over the United States. I'm just so blessed. I'm just really blessed, and I'm really grateful to all of you. We've done this show consistently every week for years. I think I'm going on 8, 9 years now, maybe even longer than that. But my passion and purpose when I discovered it, to help the small business owner, to help the small school owner, I won't give up on you. I won't. Cool? So let's make it happen. Let's create your version of success. I am Brannon Beliso. This is What Success never sleeps. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out there and do? Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me at Instagram. For everything else, go to brannonbeliso.com and go live your best life.